It is important for people to understand that Whim Creek is a high-grade asset. So it's high-grade polymetallic mineralization, open pittable ore bodies, certainly for the first half of the project. So simple open pit mining, relatively low cost, lots of infrastructure already on site. So we've got all of the pits are open, haul roads, water systems, offices, workshops are all there.
Hello to those tuning in to the Assay TV, where today I'm delighted to be joined by Geoff Laing, the Managing Director of ANX Metals. Welcome, Geoff.
Katie, pleasure to be with you.
Right, so before we jump into your news flow, can we just get a bit of a background story to ANX?
Yeah, sure. So ANX is a copper development company. We have our flagship asset, Whim Creek, up in the Pilbara region of Western Australia. Whim Creek is it's a brownfields asset. We have been working very hard over the last 4 years to re-permit it. It's now fully re-permitted, and we have, through a definitive feasibility study, outlined an 8-year mine life. The project will, over that time, produce copper concentrates predominantly, but also copper cathode. Infrastructure on site is substantial, which allows us to develop the project very cost effectively. So capital costs will be about 70 million. Pre-production capital costs. The project's expected to generate circa 400 million in cash flows. So that's really the starting point. We've got great growth potential at the project, and so the team here are very focused on growth at the minute, and also securing financing to get in and start producing copper. We're in the right commodity, certainly in the right place up in the Pilbara, and looking forward to getting in and producing copper.
So let's jump into the news flow regarding Whim Creek. We've had some exciting news as of today, so very, very recent. Some big intersections there of massive sulphides. So can you talk us through some of that?
Yeah, well, as I said to Katie, we are focused on both growth and bringing the project into production. So the news flow that came out today is all around Evelyn, which is one of 4 deposits that we've got at Whim Creek. It's a VMS style, very high grade deposit. So we commenced drilling there. The objective of the drill program was both infill and then also to test where the chute goes, so down plunge. So we've completed the infill holes, and we put out an announcement this morning talking about intersections. The first hole clipped the edge of the chute, and the second hole, as expected, penetrated the chute, and very pleasing to see these massive sulphides. Obviously no assays yet, but we'll follow up with those as soon as possible, and also the talking about the potential extensions at depth. And while I'm talking about I guess what is ultimately our growth through near mine exploration, that Evelyn region has 3 kilometers of very exciting potential. So on the back of historic VTEM surveys, there's as I say, about 3 kilometers of probably 3 or 4 targets where we could get another Evelyn lookalike. Evelyn, as I said, very high grade. We've previously talked about a hole that went in there that intersected about 13 meters at in excess of 4% copper at just 170 meters down, vertically down. So focus on Evelyn, and then bigger picture exploration, always near mine. We've already got the deposits there. So our main deposit is at Mont Capri, and we're also starting to have a good look at another Mont Capri style mineralization just to the southwest of Mont Capri. Great growth potential there as well. So that is the focus, I guess, on the exploration side, and it's great to be putting some news out into the market.
And alongside, the company's focus at Whim Creek regarding, expansion and exploration there, the company is also focused on promoting the Whim Creek Processing Hub strategy. What is this hub strategy and what does it mean for the company and the project?
Yes, I think, I'm sure people listening to this appreciate the importance of infrastructure. Permitted infrastructure is incredibly valuable. Whim Creek, our project, sits right in the middle of what's a base metal province within the Pilbara, and there are other assets around us that we believe will be suitable to consolidate, to be processed through a hub at Whim Creek. And the fact that we have the permitted asset with permitted tailings, in-pit tailings, means that we're in a very strong position to be a key part of any consolidation strategy. And we're just going to see more and more of this in the mining industry as permitting gets tougher and tougher. The value of assets, permitted mining assets, is just getting greater and greater. The fact that we've already got a very valuable project there that we can get going on sets the platform for us then to potentially bring in material from satellite deposits. And I'll just very briefly touch on we own an 80% interest in Whim Creek. We have a joint venture partner who's a very well-known which is a very well-known company, developed global. They own Sulphur Springs, which is another VMS deposit in our region. So we are working with them to potentially, we're evaluating bringing Sulphur Springs ore to be processed on our heap at Whim Creek. We are also talking to a company called GreenTech, which is on the west of us, got the Wando deposit, and likewise evaluating the potential to bring material from Wando to Whim Creek. Those are just the two starting points. There's probably another 5 assets within our region that could ultimately be feed sources into this hub. The Pilbara is very well set up for movement of material, being a massive iron ore mining area. So roads and infrastructure can easily accommodate this processing hub and satellite resource strategy. So that is probably the key element of our growth. And ultimately we would like to, in our processing hub, have a production capacity of 20,000 tons of copper equivalent or more.
So I'm sure you'd agree that people are always the key to these excellent projects and successful companies. Can you share some of the team with us?
Yes, so the team is always the most important element in any venture or entity. Our team have done extremely well. We're a small team, but focused and dedicated team. So just to give everyone an idea, over 4 years, we have permitted a project that had some significant legacy environmental issues. We dealt with all of those. We've done a lot of rectification work. So within our team, we've got environmental specialists. Our environmental manager, Dan O'Hara, has taken us through the re-permitting process. Of course, we've got geologists, and our general manager, Andrew MacDonald, is not only is he a fantastic project manager, but he's an expert resource geologist. I'm an engineer. I'm a chemical engineer. I've got a lot of experience in the processing side of things. VMS deposits, the complexity is all around processing. You've got to get the processing right. We've got we've been doing some fantastic, innovative things on the processing side of things. We've got within our team all of the support. Our CFO Janine providing support to the rest of the team, and I also want to mention we have an engineering group, Nexus Bonham, who have highly experienced engineers. They are part of our team. Gavin Nunes and Tony are very experienced engineers, and they've been providing support to us. In addition to that, an experienced board, our chairman's a solicitor, Philip Jackson, and and Phil Warren, who has been very supportive on the corporate side, has all of that corporate experience to balance it all out for us.
Circle back and look at the bigger picture a bit more. The markets, particularly, the base metal markets, have come off a bit recently. Can you explain to investors why Whim Creek is placed so well to deliver leverage returns, even in these subdued markets?
Yes, it is important for people to understand that Whim Creek is a high-grade asset. So it's high-grade polymetallic mineralization, open pittable ore bodies, certainly for the first half of the project. So simple open pit mining, relatively low cost, lots of infrastructure already on site. So we've got all of the pits are open, haul roads, water systems, offices, workshops are all there. This means low capital entry, high grade, relatively low cost mining. All of that comes together and means that our all-in sustaining costs about $220 a pound. That's very low for a project of our size, but that's because of the high grade nature of the ore bodies. This all means that even in a copper price environment where we are at the minute, it's a very robust project. As I mentioned at the start, it'll in this copper price environment, we would deliver about 400 million in free cash. And if you start looking forward to more elevated copper prices where people are projecting, it just goes upwards from there. So that's for us, it's a real differentiator, being so robust at lower copper prices.
Towards the end of this interview, for our investors, they quite like to hear some milestones that the company should be hitting in the coming months.
Yeah, of course. You would have picked up through the discussion that we've got a lot of things going on at the minute. So the drilling, there'll be more. There'll be assay results coming up on the back of today's announcement. There'll also be some news flow about the extensional holes that have gone in. We'll also be talking about the regional exploration programs looking forward. We have embarked on various studies on the consolidation strategy, the two companies that I mentioned earlier, Develop and Greentech. So there'll be news flow on some of the understandings that we're getting from those studies. And we are also looking at funding solutions for the project. And so in time, there'll be some news flow on that. So plenty going on, and certainly expect ongoing news flow in the next 2 to 3 months.
Sounds like a busy few months for ANX, and we thank you for spending some time with us today. Can't wait to hear more in the coming months.
Thanks, Katie. It's been a pleasure.